Tippets, I'll talk to you in a little. Let me talk to the nurse.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me what Dr. Tippets did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippets would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippets in our situation?
Gwyneth is overqualified as a nurse, according to Tippets. Gwyneth has covered Tippets' medical error.
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks? Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
No, you were not. Oh, that was a...
Goodbye, Nurse.
I didn't mean to call you old. Although I do think the game sort of called her old there a little, because of the, you know, writing old people like if they were old people. Every line is about how old they are. And the treasure outside. That's not treasure? You lie to me, game, all the time. Where's Tippets? Oh, that is treasure, though. This wasn't here before, I swear. I swear this wasn't here before. I did the rounds. Tippets. Treasure. Oh my god. Some of it is already... maybe I did it.
Good evening, Dr. Tippets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
I think he's wrong. I think he's bullshitting me. I don't think he's right.
I will cover for you, Dr. Tippets, by keeping what happened to Mr. Connor to myself.
I don't know what to say, actually. I can't exactly force you to become my accomplice.
You didn't force me. This is my decision to make. I believe you're still of use to the hospital, considering the situation.
Then I can make you this promise. As soon as the epidemic is eradicated, I will resign.
And we get money for it, which I will spend on drugs. Corcoran is exhausting himself. Corcoran will resign as soon as the epidemic is eradicated. The nurse might want to hear about that.
What will you do after your resignation? Do you have a plan?
I always fancied visiting Cyprus. Such a beautiful island. I could buy a house there by the sea, read poetry, and wait for death.
Okay.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippets.
Maybe the nurse is going to have something to say about that. I can't ask her.
Goodbye, nurse.
Huh. Curious. All of the treasure.
It's locked, all right.
The treasure isn't. I was definitely here. It definitely spawned after I did that thing. Wow. Now for the drugs. All of the drugs. Well, some of the drugs anyway.
It never ceases to amaze me how you...
I get all the drugs, it's fine. It doesn't need to amaze you. Oh. Okay. So on my way to the other side of town, we're gonna be able to mess with this guy. And now I know. Come here now, baby. You're gonna die. You're also gonna be a royal pain. I need to use the weapon that steals blood. This doesn't steal much blood. Wow. Oh, that was so close. But we can do this now. After so much struggle. Let's finally get the drugs. And the money. Dr. Strickland's list. Ordered by Dr. Thoreau Strickland, Pembroke Hospital. List of substances and ingredients. Lacrima paveris, medical opium. Sodium hypochlorite. And potassium permanganate. How can I be permanganate? Can you permangart? What?
Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
Is it never a good move? I thought it was common. You know, because of the vampires and all. Not vampires, you mean old people. Now, this lack of health is a bit worrisome. Not gonna lie. Shoot. Definitely not what I wanted to do. Oh, also that grenade. So the moment they bring that sword out, you can right click, or not right click, you can Y. Press Y for alternate attack. Kill them.
Filthy piece of shit!
I'm not. I'm nice and clean. There you go. See? Everything's fine. And I got extra stuff as well. Codeine and clove essence. Clove essence is really important. Everybody's fatigued these days. Or has a cold. Anyway, that's that done. And, well, let's go to the other side of town. Excuse me.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife and his name means something round here.
You never paid him a visit at the Pembroke Hospital, did you?
And I don't intend to. In Clay's case, I'm not against a medical mistake or a little help from the Spanish flu.
Brutal.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
Ooh. Common parts, though. She does have ingredients. No. No, those are parts.
The sewer dog's fault, they say. Then the gangs, the epidemics, everyone's throwing the blame.
Everyone is. Hey, Dyson, feeling better?
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Ah, you're a doctor.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Nothing to say.
I hope I live.
Tom, Sabrina.
So few clients.
I wonder what he was doing up here. Swaney. Not Swaney. The doctor from the hospital. Just being up there in a room. Clearly has his own room. Archer Woodbead. Hello.
Good evening, sir. I'm amazed you made it back to the docks alone. Good for you.
Well, I could say the same about you, young man. More to the point, who the hell are you?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
And I am Archer Woodbead. Please excuse my assertiveness. I often forget I'm just an old prune.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
People used to feel safe around here. They had the gangs protecting them. Now all they do is bicker and plot against one another.
Missing the good old days, are you not?
Trust me, son. The longer you live, the less meaning your existence will have. You need to remember the days you still had beliefs.
And what about the gangs?
Back in my day, people trusted the wet boot boys. We looked out for the docks and its families. Nowadays, they're just a bunch of greedy fuckers.
You were a gang member.
I was their leader for a time, believe it or not. Now these bastards act like I'm nothing. Not one of them. They owe me some damn respect.
Can't get no respect here. Archer has no news of his son since Andrew... Yeah, Archer used to lead the Wet Boot Boys when they were a respectable gang. Who would want that info? He doesn't have relationships.
If you were such a respected figure, surely you have many interesting stories about this part of town.
You bet I do, but make no mistake. I'm no rat, sir. Some secrets are best left buried.
Who would you trust around here?
The owner of the Turquoise Turtle's a decent fella. Tom's his name. Sean Hampton's all right too. Don't particularly share his religious views. He's quite devout if you catch my meaning.
Do you still know anyone? From the old days, I mean.
Most of them are dead. I still give Miss Gillingham salutations. She doesn't remember me. She did once like me. Boy, she was a beauty back then.
Any remarkable new faces around here?
Nobody. Well, there's that boy Rufus the Curse. I like him, despite the reputation he's made since his parents died. Poor little bastard.
I'm sure a district as colorful as the docks must have plenty of stories about strange visitors and creepy characters.
So, you want me to talk about the sewer dog, don't you?
If you don't mind.
The sewer dog is a bitch. Appropriately named, an old woman dressed in rags. She has an elegance, though, despite her ugliness. I saw her once. Scared the life out of me.
I wonder if it's the large beast. Or a large beast that we saw.
Have you always been so bitter?
It's not bitterness, it's poorly masked disgust. When everything turns to shit, we all have to eat a spoon or two.
Eat a spoon. Is that like eating crow, or...
With everything that's happened recently, the war, Spanish flu, I must concede that these are difficult times.
A few nights ago, I saw a kid eating a rat. He was right in front of one of those abandoned houses nearby, just chewing on a living rat's insides.
Tell me everything you know about the Guard of Priwen.
Andrew never told me what they do. I do know they're vigilantes with military training. access to some impressive firepower.
And what is your personal opinion about the Guard, then?
This Guard of Priwen is just another gang preying on the young and naive. Preying on people like my boy. I know how it works. I invented it.
You invented it. Archer blames the Guard of Priwen, it's apparently not Priwen, for his son's disappearance.
Tell me about the Wet Boot Boys, Archer. I want to know more.
We were there for the families and each other. It was us against the world. We were vicious, tough, even cruel. But we were united.
You sound like you were some kind of radical union member.
Yes, nowadays the communists and gangs squabble over pointless territory. Sounds stupid when you say it out loud.
Why did your son really join the Guard of Priwen?
If I believed in a higher power, I'd see this as punishment for my own sins. I deserve it for all the young men I enlisted back in the day.
You don't believe in God, though, do you, Mr. Woodbead? So why did he join?
Now I think about it, Andrew joined the Guard, not to defy me, but to follow in my footsteps, to make me proud.
So your son has left you nothing to explain his actions? No letter or message?
Not even a note. I'm a proud man, Dr. Reed. But I would kneel and pray if I thought it would give me my Andrew back.
Goodbye, sir.
In a strange way, it is payback for what he did earlier in his life. Because his son is following, or trying to follow in his footsteps. So, I'm gonna have a chat with Tom.
Welcome back, Doctor.
But I can't do anything there.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
And I'm gonna have a chat. Where's she? There you are, with Edwina over here.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Miss Cox.
Nobody says anything about that. Seth, are you training as well? He is training. Curious. Let's have a chat with the old lady as well. See if I can get into her house now. Stella Fishburne.
Good evening, madam. It's Dr. Reed again. May I come in?
You best come back in the morning, Doctor.
I'll leave you then.
Maybe tomorrow, I suppose. My mesmerize is only level 1. So who is that person? Enid Gillingham. That's the guy we rescued, isn't it? It's not the old lady. Where's the old lady here? There she is. We know a lot about her, in fact. Okay, before we proceed with the side quests, let's see. Well, first off, I don't have anything here. Secondly, let's upgrade this, if I can. Which I cannot. So this requires aluminum powder. Aluminum powder is always needed. Yeah, it's not good for us to upgrade or to sell anything at the moment. Okay, let's focus on more side quests then. We have the missing ingredients. Let's finish this one, since we got it. Strickland?
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed.
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
Thoreau's experiment in blood transfusion have not been successful. Thoreau secretly exposes his patients to an experimental medication for the Spanish flu. That is...
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
Well...
You have my support, Dr. Strickland. I know exactly what it feels like to battle an unknown disease with only your mind and force of will to help you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You don't know what that means to me.
That was a comment about vampirism there. It's not very common that it's used as a metaphor.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
But it's good when it is. It's also good when people don't phase through you.
I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
Wait, what do you mean an adjusted formula? Gather the ingredients and formulate the medication. Bring 1 unit of sodium hypochlorite to your medical desk. I think I might have all that. I mean, I've been all over the place. What? Oh, it's here.
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd.
Should I report him to Dr. Ackroyd? I don't think I will. I think it's a good enough narrative here. And so we have something called a placebo. No, I think I made the placebo. I think that's what we did. That's not spooky at all, what I just did.
As for me,
Where's Strickland?
blundering idiot.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
I have managed to improve the mixture by diluting it. Have you ever heard of Sir Joseph Francis Olive, or the placebo effect?
No, I don't think so. Why?
A placebo is a substance or procedure that has no actual physical effect.
You made a placebo of my project. Why?
Research has established that a placebo, as long as the subject believes in the effect, can provoke a positive physiological reaction.
Really? That's fascinating. And you want me to, what, administer the placebo and see what occurs?
Something like that, yes.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I trust you, Dr. Reed. Please take the key to my cabinet and put this placebo there for future use.
Where is that cabinet, I wonder?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
It's in his office. Here we are, with a lot of treasure in here.
It's locked, all right.
Aw.
It's locked. At least Strickland can't kill anyone with this formula.
Well, yeah.
It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right.
Mr. Goswick's medical file. Mortimer Goswick, age 23, followed by Ackroyd, status convalescence. Notes the patient shows many signs of extreme fatigue and major sores on the throat, mouth, and tongue, but no sign of flu. Refuses to speak, claims it's too painful, needs rest and healing of throat mucous membrane before any decision can be made concerning his release. Question mark as well. And Mortimer is not infected with the Spanish flu. Letter to Dr. Swansea. And there's info on somebody else. Pembroke Hospital, 14th October. Dear Dr. Swansea, however you pronounce that. Despite the actual urgency of the sanitary situation, I must inform you of a recent case of professional misconduct inside the Pembroke. Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan has been found guilty of undeniable unprofessional conduct and thus guilty of endangering a patient. Under no circumstances should a nurse diagnose and establish a prescription without at least informing the referent doctor about her conclusion. You know me, Edgar. This is from Ackroyd? I'm not against personal initiative when it is for the interest of all, especially during a crisis like the one we're facing, but we can't allow a nurse to perform a diagnosis and decide on a procedure to apply to a patient. The fact that said patient survived is no attenuating circumstance. It just means that we dodged the bullet this time. I demand the strictest authority on this matter. That is curious. I wonder if that has anything to do with the other one that died. Gwyneth has been suspected of neglecting her professional duties. It's not quite what it said, but these are locked, right? Yeah. Huh. Let's go talk to her first.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
According to the report I read, your unprofessional conduct put a patient in danger, Gwyneth.
That's not true. I know when my patient's life is at risk, and I'm more competent than a lot of doctors that I know. Problem is, I'm a woman.
I don't see what your gender has to do with your abilities, Nurse.
Yes, nurse. Because I'll never be a doctor, no matter what my skills. I could make a decision that could save a life, but oh no, that's unbecoming conduct.
Trying to remember Ackroyd. Ackroyd over here. Waverly disapproves modern... That's him. He disapproves of modern medicine methods. Oh, well, I guess...
Have you heard of Elizabeth Blackwell? She was the first woman listed on the UK Medical Register. Change is slow, but it will come. And you will always have my support.
To have the right to study shouldn't be determined by sex, skin, or wealth. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, free college for all. But, maybe...
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
100 years, potentially. So, Ackroyd. Where is he? That's Tippets. Ooh, he might have something to say about her. Cox is just having a field day. Yep, he has something to say about that.
Nurse Brannigan has been recently accused of neglecting her professional duties. Tell me what you really think about it.
This kind of protest is nothing but elitist bullshit. I trust Nurse Brannigan with my life. She has what it takes to be a great doctor.
Do you really think she could be the next Elizabeth Blackwell?
Believe me, Dr. Reed, a time will come when skill and skill alone will determine who can be a physician and who cannot.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippets.
When I get back,
I didn't have the best impression from Ackroyd the first time around. He's a little bit conflicted about his whole thing.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
And is also portrayed as less than, you know, less than.